come to this happy place. Welcome to Lilo and Stitches. We're your hosts,
Chris
and Jen. All right, guys. This is just part 2 of the last video, but hopefully this is a lot shorter than the last video. We wanted to talk about masks at Disney World. Hand me those masks. Now, you can hand me mine. I don't want yours. Oh. My face ain't that big. Just hand me the whole stack.
Okay.
I got a lot I want to talk about. Okay, so when Disney first came back, they came back with character masks like these. Now, these masks, totally handy, totally comfortable. However, they run a little bit small, and they are really thick material here, and they're kind of hard to breathe in. Yeah. I will say, however, they are a lot of fun to wear. But what I really wanted to talk about is what it's like wearing a mask in the Florida heat.
Right.
And what's like being overweight and wearing a mask in the Florida heat. So, with that being said, how do you feel about wearing masks in the park?
So, at first, I was a little concerned. I was like, this is not going to work. I'm a heavier guy. I hate the heat. We never go to Disney in the summertime. We always go in the wintertime. But wanted to get back into it because they were reopening. So first thing I did is I went online and I ordered boxes of masks, regular size and little kid size.
These brands are not a sponsor of us. They are just what was available at Amazon.
So that there are these, 3-ply paper masks that you can now get at Walmart. They have the string that goes around the mouth. Everybody's got them nowadays. They sell them at almost everywhere, including the gas stations. But I bought a bunch of those just prepared, right? And so...
and I went prepared with money to buy these because I thought they were cute. And I wanted to have all the character faces.
And we had heard they were going to have those kind of masks. And so we were interested in trying to figure them out and get some. So obviously first thing we do, first day we're there...
buy the masks.
Right.
However, we didn't do the disclaimer. We should start this video with a disclaimer. We're all over the place. It's all right.
Right.
All right. So this is not a video saying you have to wear masks in your everyday life. This is not a video saying that masks do work or masks don't work. That is not a discussion we are willing to have at all on this channel. That is like a political view or a whatever.
And we don't take one side or the other.
We don't. But Disney requires you to wear a mask on Disney property at all times, and that includes the Disney store. So if you're going to your local mall and you want to go in the Disney store, cast members at the Disney store will require you to have a mask that meets Disney's guidelines. Right. You cannot wear the neck gaiters, the full face ones. You cannot wear bandanas. You have to wear a mask that covers your nose and chin and has ear loops. However, they don't say anything if you have like an ear saver on and you wear your mask on your neck. They don't care about that really, but they just want it to have the ear loops.
So rule-wise, though, it was what she just said in terms of the mask, and it was anywhere on Disney property with the exception of being in your own room. If you have a room with a balcony, on your balcony, you don't have to wear a mask. When you're in a restaurant sitting down at your table, you don't have to wear a mask. When you're not in a restaurant, but you're sitting somewhere or standing somewhere stationary, eating or drinking, you don't have to wear a mask while you're doing that. But once you're done, you have to put your mask back on. Or when you're at the swimming pool. And it's not just in the pool, but in the pool or area. So once you enter the pool area, obviously they would prefer you find a seat and then take your mask off. But when you're in the pool area, you don't have to wear your mask.
Right. Okay, so I wanted to cover the different type of masks because... obviously, these are cute, and I rushed and bought some. These were, at the time, 4 for $20, but now they're just $6 even each. And we have the little Stitch mask, and these are the original designs that they came out with. They are cotton. They are double thick. We got some Mickey Mouse. I got this cute one. This is a new design, but not the new material. Tie-dye Mickey Mouse. I really like the decorative masks, okay? I bought a bunch. And then I got Pixar, okay? Then Disney has just came out with this new, I don't have my pumpkin one, the thinner material. This is a new fabric, and it is fantastic. These are so much more breathable than the thicker cotton ones, and I hope they make more. I hope they make more of this thinner fabric. These are easier to breathe in. And they are more roomier.
Yep.
So they fit a little bit better. I wear a size large. My son wears a size medium. He is 6, but he has a really big head. And Chris here wears an extra large.
Right. And they didn't have extra large until
they just came out with the extra
recently.
large. I will say in the parks, for me personally, I can't wear any of these. I can't wear any of these because of the humidity, because I'm overweight, and because I have history of asthma issues. I can't even wear the thinner material ones, but the paper ones work so much better for me. They don't seem to suction onto your face as much when you're walking around, and you get really sweaty. You get that sweat mustache happening, and then it starts to stick to your face. The paper one doesn't do that as much. And I also noticed for my 6-year-old, the paper one works a lot better for him too. And what I do is I take a piece of cotton yarn and I loop it through the holes and I tie it in the back of his neck. Otherwise, he gets like the elastic burns on the back of his ears. And Disney does not have a problem with the elastic being held around. And you can do it for yourself too. Just a piece of cotton yarn. Cotton yarn is $1.89 for a ball. You can make as many little strings as you want and just put a little bow tie back there.
And the other thing is the ear loops on the Disney masks, they're thick cotton. So they don't really mess with your ears too much when you're wearing them. I too had a problem wearing the masks in the park. And it wasn't so much the breathability of it. It's just, it was hotter. And so I used to have a full mustache goatee. Jen wanted me to shave it off, and I said, hey, it's the pandemic, why not? So I shaved it off. But anyway, these masks, they fit all the way over my chin and over my nose, and so it feels good. So when we go to like dinner or something in the evening, I would wear it only because we weren't walking for a long time. But when we were in the park, you know, as she said, these were the kind of go-to masks. So we would always go to the park with, 6 of these in the backpack. I would have this in my pocket as a backup in case I needed to.
But always carry extra because these elastic, especially if you're drinking a lot, which you need to in the Florida heat, constantly pulling it off and pulling it down, the elastic breaks really easily. So always have extra of these if you can. And also have extra because with that sweat mustache happening, this tends to get wet and it does make it harder to breathe through.
Yeah. So in terms of me for the heat and breathing, the heat itself was already, I want to say unbearable because we did a really good job this time. But using the mask, I didn't see a huge difference in my ability to like take in oxygen and exhale oxygen with all the walking and stuff that we did. I think because I was wearing a mask, it seemed more pronounced that I was breathing heavier, but not so much more than if I just walked from one end of the park to the other on any given day. It did get sweaty, and I did have to replace it a couple of times during a couple of days. But for the most part, it was very comfortable, easy to breathe. The paper mask was. The other mask, if you're just using it for a little while, it's fine. All in all, I think wearing a mask was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. It wasn't, after you get used to it for a day, it just kind of becomes part of it. It just becomes part of the process, and you just get used to it. And in some cases, I don't want to say you don't know that it's there, because sometimes you don't, but it just becomes part of you doing that.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I hate wearing a mask in the park. I will say this. Because I do have history with breathing issues, I very gladly wear the mask because it's required of me. I don't tend to complain, but I do have to take way more often. I have to take breaks to sit down and get a drink of water just so I feel like I'm catching my breath. And you may feel that way too. I don't want to sugarcoat it and make it seem like it's all lollipops and roses, because there are times where it is difficult and I don't like it and I get frustrated and I get cranky in the parks. And so what I have to do is I have to find a place to sit down, get a very long drink of water or Sprite, because I really like Sprite in the parks. I don't know why. Or find the relaxation stations. They are in every park. You go, you sit down, and they have hand sanitizing thing right outside so you can wash your hands before you go sit in there. The tables are socially distanced. Sometimes it's an air-conditioned area. Yeah. Sometimes it's just outside. And you can take your mask off and you can drink at your leisure. You can breathe like as much as you want without having a mask on your face. You can let your face dry out from the sweat mustache.
Yeah.
You know, just it's okay to admit that you get cranky in the parks from the masks, because I do, and I don't want it to seem like it's all perfect, but it is difficult sometimes. And especially there were days at the parks where it was a lot easier. And like when there's a wind, when there's a breeze, we should have brought our fans up here.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, we have these little motorized fans. It's a handle and there's a fan on it. And you push the button and the fan turns on. They sell them at Disney parks with the water squirters and all that.
The ones we got were at Amazon for like $8.
On Amazon. I will try to get a link and post the link below to the fans that we bought so you can see. It will probably be an affiliate link. But I just wanted to put that out there. I will link those so you can see what I'm talking about. We would bring those fans, and if you just have the wind blowing at your face, it makes it a little bit easier to breathe because it cools down the air around your mask. So that's really good advice, is to carry those fans. I also bought, can you reach that?
No.
Alright. I also bought one of these in the parks. It is a hand. It does not work as good as the motorized fan, but you get your little breeze going, and it makes it a little bit easier to breathe in the mask. And that's really pretty anyway. This was only like $7. Well, it was $10, but we had 30% off discount because it was
annual pass holder discount.
But yeah, get your little hand fan and get your little breeze happening around your mask, and it does make it a lot easier to deal with and to manage.
Yep. Catch yourself in something indoors if you need to, even if it's not the relaxation station. So for example, if you're at Magic Kingdom, get yourself into the Country Bear Jamboree, get yourself into Pirates of the Caribbean.
You still have to wear your mask.
Yes.
But at least the air will be cooler, and it actually does help. For example, we were getting ready to go on to the Haunted Mansion, and the line was, because they don't circle in through the graveyard anymore, they had the line out of the queue, and it circled down through the dock area for the ferry boat. So it went up and down and circled all the way around. So the line seemed a lot longer than it was. And it was really hot. It was like 100-degree day. The humidity was like 1,000%. So you're like walking through water air. Okay, so by the time I got through the queue, and the queue line was only maybe 20 minutes. By the time I got up to the doors to go into the mansion, I felt like I may pass out because it was just so hot and I was having a hard time. And I actually grabbed the door frame because I felt like I was going to pass out. Just sitting down on the ride in the cool Haunted Mansion, because it's nice and cool in there and it's dark, there's no sun beating on you, I was able to like regain myself. I felt better. I was able to catch my breath even though I was still wearing my mask, and coming out I was able to go back into the park and do more stuff and have fun. I did, however, you have to get something to drink, but these are things that you should be aware of with wearing the mask. I also do want to say, I don't feel like I wasted my money on these just because I couldn't wear them in the parks, because I love wearing these to the grocery store or to Walmart or my local yarn shops. I just love the doctor's office. I love wearing my Disney mask all around town. So these to me are way more fun than wearing a paper mask at home. And I especially like wearing like the themed ones for like the holidays. Boo! I have one that's black with pumpkins on it. I think it's in the car. But I like wearing that one too. I actually get a lot of compliments on that one. And I cannot wait for the Christmas ones to be released. Because we're going to go, I'm going to get some Christmas masks too. Because, if you got to wear a mask, and most places you do have to wear a mask, why not have a fun mask that makes you feel happy?
Yeah. And I wear mine to work. And, when I go into the office, it's like I'm wearing mine all day. And I'm comfortable wearing it in the office, sitting at my desk all day long. Obviously, I'm not walking around in the heat. So the thinner mask is perfectly suited to, wearing all day for me anyway, if I had to.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then, kid-wise, the kids, didn't mind wearing their mask. We had our son wear the paper mask. But we saw a lot of kids in the park, little kids, older kids. And I didn't see too many kids complaining about the masks.
No.
They
like wearing the character masks.
Yeah.
That's fun for them, but they also don't mind wearing the paper masks.
Yeah,
it's almost like they're playing dress up as a doctor walking around like, with their little masks on.
Right.
So It may seem like it's daunting, and it may seem like something that may make you miserable. And yeah, there were points where I was absolutely miserable with a mask on, but I would have been miserable without the mask on because I'm from the north. I'm from Michigan. I have up north blood, so I get hot really easily. I'd rather be in cooler temperatures.
Right.
And plus, I'm like extra insulated, so like I get hot easily, and I probably would be just as miserable without the mask.
Yep.
Just honestly.
I mean, I do miss not
and he
wearing
does
a mask.
get cranky in the heat. Don't let him fool you.
I do. I do miss not wearing a mask at Disney World, but it is the rules at Disney World right now.
Yeah.
So whether...
I miss photo pass without mask.
Yes.
The most.
Yes.
That's the part that's the hardest. I love taking family pictures from the photo pass, and we still do it, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I will ever blow up those pictures and hang them on the wall. But
you can't see your smile. You can't, you can't see whether the kid is making a face under the mask.
But it's kind of neat at the same time because this is history, and this will be something we will never forget. This will be something we talk about with our great-grandchildren.
Yeah. I mean, it is a time period in history that is going to be remembered, good, bad, all the good, all the ugliness that's out there of what occurred. And so for us, Disney, unfortunately, to go back to Disney, you have to have these rules in place, and that's what Disney's put in place. And
don't let masks deter you. If you really want to go into the park, do not let the masks deter you. They're not unbearable. I mean, sometimes yes, it's not fun, but you can still have a really good time wearing that mask. And you just have to know your limitations. You have to stay hydrated, and you have to take breaks to breathe.
Right.
You have to.
Right. And if you don't want to wear a mask and you want to wait it out until Disney gets rid of the rule that you have to wear a mask, totally understandable. I hope that'll come sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Little anecdotal story. We noticed that a lot of people, especially, I noticed I only go into the women's restroom. But I noticed women tend to linger a little bit longer in the restroom, and me and my daughter were talking about going into the restroom and like there's nobody else in there, so like taking it down a little bit and get a little breather and then putting it back up. And I think a lot of people are doing that in the restrooms, especially if there's nobody else in there. Just take it down, get a breath, put it back up real quick. And Chris here came up with an SNL skit. He was like, that would be the perfect Saturday Night Live skit, is where you go sit in the bathroom and you take your mask down and get a little breather, and the cast member pops under the door and goes, put your mask back on.
Yeah. Or just sticks the sign under there reminding you about your mask.
Yeah, I thought that was a funny story I wanted to share.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, that's it for today. We are going to end it here, but I just hope that wearing a mask and the fear of all of the changes does not deter you from wanting to go back to the parks, because you can still have a lot of fun and a great experience filled with magic, even wearing a mask.
And if you have any questions and you still have questions about masks, or you have concerns about masks, or you just want to, let us know your experience wearing a mask at Disney World, comment below, and we'll certainly take a look at those. And if there's questions, we'll try to respond and give you at least an answer from our perspective.
But we will not argue or even discuss whether masks work or not.
Right.
This is just Disney's rules, and we follow them because we love Disney, and we don't mind following the rules to be there.
Right.
So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
See ya.